I've gotten some questions / requests over the past couple weeks about the course, about what it all entails, about how I built it. And as I am a terrible documentarian, I figured the easiest way to do this, because the course is a constantly evolving dynamic, because I can't stop working on it. I figured the easiest way would be to just come out here, low tech, hold the mic, and give the grand tour of the place as it sits as of today, because I was watching back to the build video when I built the Leviathan section and realized that nothing that you're about to see in the next 2 or 3 minutes existed at that time, and that was like the end of October. So in 2 months, what you're looking at here is what I call the Southern Reach. It's this section here. It's very, very incomplete, as are many of the obstacles here on the course. But, you know, I go as fast as I can with as much material as I can get. That moves on to this, which will be featured in its own video. It does not have a name. It was basically constructed as a way to get rid of the tires that I'm constantly digging up out of the ground from the people that lived here before. I think this one only has about 16 tires under it, but some of them are like light truck tires from the 60s. Proof that these, and mind you, I dug them out of the ground initially, so I just put them back into the ground where I found them, and then I pile stuff atop it. There's a berm here because it leads from the corner to go off that big dumb jump. I appeared there in shadow format for a moment. I am constantly fighting with myself not to get my shadow in the shot. There's that cat again. What are you doing, Jage? I know she just ate. She's just being a pest. So the teardrop, as I just kind of call it, enters from that far end on the other side of the olive tree, exits right over here. It'll be featured in a video soonish. So you'll definitely get to see more of this as it sits now. Trying to stay out of the shadow. That brings us over here. This is Sultan's Curse, which is fairly recent, and the part atop it I call the crux because it's kind of cross-shaped from above. These obstacles have been in a couple videos. They are both quite newish. I would say less than 2 months for both Sultan's Curse and whatever. Sultan's Curse is sort of a super complex that fills all of this stuff along over here until we get to past the first bridge. Sultan's Curse actually has a sign. Many segments do not. This section is called Savage Lands, another super complex, which is actually even larger than the Sultan's Curse area. This is where my first couple of containers of playground asphalt went. And as I'm sure you can see here, I just got another one. None of this is permanent. There's a wall hidden down there. I think, see, that cinder block goes all the way continuous and wraps around until I get here to the bowl. Which again, I just kind of call it bowl. It doesn't particularly have a name. This is all the Savage Lands super complex. I try to name the individual obstacles as the names come to me. Wrapping around here, I just call that the contraption. It used to live further over to the north. I try not to drive it too often because it's tremendously frustrating. So at the end of Savage Lands, you cross the ramp here. You come into Roots Remain, which is this large section under this pepper tree. None of this is complete. There's where I put the chunks of metal that I find. I'm going to build a little sort of iron town there. At least that is the plan. couple different lines here. This section has been in a couple of videos in the past. Obviously still work in progress. This is, to anyone who's viewed videos for the past week or so, they've seen the tree. So this is where the larger cuttings from the 70-foot pine are going. I'm gonna try to wrap that all the way around here so that you can go in and under this pepper, which comes around bridge number 3. The steps, which were mentioned in the building of the Leviathan video. And then here is Leviathan up from the top. That's Leviathan scales down the wicked side hill. Obstacles here fall into a couple different categories. We have slab. Leviathan is a good example. This is just straight chunks of concrete piled on top of each other being held by their own weight. Then I have what I call soft mix, which is stuff held in place by dirt or dirt pack. Then we'll get to some obstacles up here that are hard mix. A couple of the obstacles are a mixture of all of the above. Leviathan, for instance, being a mixture of just straight slab and soft mix. There's no concrete here. Brings us the rest of the way down the ramp into the backside of Oblivion, which is also very much a work in progress. I've just been clearing out the area under this pepper tree. There's not really much under here yet, but the leaf litter and debris stood about as high as that berm, so it was about 16 inches deep all the way across through here. It's been a couple weeks to clear that out. Just starting to build some of the first initial obstacles up through here. Wraps around the edge to Oblivion proper, which is mostly slab with a bit of soft mix down at the bottom to kind of give it a smoother transition. Bringing over to the waterfall, called such because my benevolent neighbor Eddie saw when I was putting down the first layers of concrete and said, "What are you building over there, a waterfall?" So waterfall is how its name has been remained up till now. I mean, it might get a proper name at some point. I think it should. This is the first obstacle section I ever built. It's been completely torn apart and rebuilt 3 or 4 times. It was in place when I saw this. I think it's the sleeve that a manhole goes in. I saw this in the back of a container and said, "Ooh, can I have that?" So he used the loader and dumped it over the fence for me, and then I had to move all of this to get that in place. This is Dry Bone Valley, which is one of the rare sections of the course that is soft mix with natural rock. It also has slab. It's got hard mix, which is concrete with slab and rock. And it's just got plain old loose dirt and rock. So you've got all your terrain here in Dry Bone Valley, which again, like Sultan's Curse and Savage Lands, is sort of a super complex. It extends over here to this nameless bit. I call this Slick Rock. Goes up into the high road section with the little difficult to navigate. That's where I broke the Panhard mount off of SCX 10.3. Over here is Precious Stones, called such because, I don't know, I dig a lot of petrified wood up out of the ground in this yard. The former tenants must have really liked just sticking petrified wood in the ground. Also got some, some marble containers will have where you get like busted out countertops and stuff. Brings us around to the water. Some may have seen the waterfall. Comes around to here to what I just called that side hill. It never looks very steep in video, so you can turn it like that. That's about the angle of that side hill. And and it doesn't have a tremendous amount of grip to it. Moves in on the other side of Precious Stones is Ancient Kingdom, near where the pagoda is. These were some of the first pieces that I intentionally put into place. Dry Bone Valley was just a pile of rocks, really. That bridge was the first thing I made crawler-wise by taking old garden stakes, drilling holes in them in the drill press and lacing them together with some rope and a whole box of 1/4-inch nuts to act as spacers. So that was the first thing I actually fabricated with the intention of putting it out here. Then the pond started off differently, and then my wife suggested that I get a liner for it. So now there's a pond liner. It's 125 gallons. There's like a 10-inch long Plecostomus that lives in there. I assume, I haven't seen him in some time, but he's in there. This is Sleeping Giant, which is made out of 1.5-inch thick concrete that was under an old bird enclosure that was in the yard. When I knocked that down, I took it, and all of this river rock was underneath that wafer-thin concrete. All of this rock was underneath that concrete. I guess that's how they used to do things back in the olden times. So that moves us across. I guess this is still part of Ancient Kingdom. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't really decided where the delineation is between Ancient Kingdom and the Beast, which there's the dirt side hill. That just looks like dirt. I need to move further back. There's the dirt side hill that many rigs have slid off of. That was the first bridge, proper hard bridge that I built after the soft bridge. And I feel like I've gotten better at building those. That brings us to the Beast over here at the far end. And as we've made it back to the Beast, that's pretty much where we started. There's Southern Reach. There's the tree. There's that cat. What are you doing, Jage? So this has been the grand tour of Crawler Canyon. As I mentioned, nothing over there existed 2 months ago. So that was built. Right now it is the end of January. All of that was built starting, Oblivion wasn't there yet. So starting where those little castellated cinder blocks are, that went in at the end of October, and all of that has gone in since all of this. So fast forward a few months from now, and who knows what it will look like. I certainly don't know. So, that's the driver's stand, a holdout from when this was all an RC track that was impossible to keep up. So I hope this was, at least killed some time for some people, a little bit informative. This will require a lot less editing than my usual efforts, so this was pretty relaxing for me. So, you know what? Thanks for watching.